a bold confrontation is unfolding between Canada and the United States. When U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnik declared that Canada should adopt an America First, Canada Second policy on auto manufacturing, he ignited a firestorm. But Ontario Premier Doug Ford didn't back down. His defiant response signals a new era in Canada-U.S. trade relations, one where Canada refuses to be treated as a subordinate partner. This Canada-U.S. trade dispute centers on auto manufacturing, critical minerals, and economic sovereignty. The Trump administration wants to relocate vehicle assembly from Canada to American soil, threatening thousands of Canadian jobs. But Ford and Prime Minister Mark Carney are pushing back hard, defending Canada's economic independence in ways we haven't seen before. During a summit on Canada-U.S. relations, Lutnik dropped a diplomatic bomb. According to global news sources, he told attendees that Canada should prioritize American interests when building cars. The Trump trade policy aims to shift auto production entirely to the United States, treating the Canada-U.S. trade relationship as zero-sum rather than mutually beneficial. This America First Canada approach shocked Canadian officials. For decades, the Auto Pact created balanced prosperity across the border. Canadian factories use American steel. American vehicles rely on Canadian parts. This integrated supply chain makes the Canada-U.S. trade relationship one of the world's strongest economic partnerships. But Lutnik's statement reveals the Trump administration's true intentions: economic dominance through coercion. Canada's auto sector employs hundreds of thousands of workers from Windsor to Oshawa. Dismantling this system doesn't just move factories, it destroys communities and families built over generations. Ford's response demonstrated strategic brilliance. When Lutnik criticized Ontario for removing American alcohol from store shelves, Ford refused to apologize. More importantly, he threatened to block American access to Canadian critical minerals: lithium, nickel, and cobalt, essential for electric vehicles and green technology. This move showcases Canada's economic leverage in the Canada-U.S. trade dispute. Critical minerals are the future of manufacturing. By controlling these resources, Canada holds significant power in negotiations. Ford's message is clear: friendship doesn't mean submission. Canada will protect its sovereignty even against its largest trading partner. "We buy as many cars as we sell down there," Ford stated plainly. "The Auto Pact's been around since the 1960s. You can't unscramble an egg." His words reflect economic reality that Washington often ignores. The Canada-U.S. trade relationship isn't Canadian dependency. It's balanced interdependence. Prime Minister Mark Carney has been preparing Canada for exactly this moment. His government prioritizes trade diversification, clean manufacturing expansion, and supply chain protection from political volatility. While Trump's America plays short-term politics with sudden tariffs and policy reversals, Carney thinks in decades. The Canada-U.S. trade relationship under Trump has become unpredictable. As Ford noted, at any given day, President Trump can wake up and say we're tariffing this or that. Recent tariffs hit cabinet manufacturers, furniture producers, and lumber exporters with minimal warning. But this time, Canada isn't caught off guard. Carney's economic team anticipated these disruptions long before they materialized. Canada's strategy focuses on domestic resilience rather than hoping for American goodwill. When previous steel and aluminum tariffs hurt Canadian workers, Ottawa responded strategically by targeting specific American exports. That precision approach continues today. Ford unveiled another crucial strategy: redirecting cheap energy toward Canadian manufacturers instead of exporting it south. For years, Canada has shipped discounted electricity and oil to power American factories, while domestic companies struggled with high energy costs. "We're giving cheap oil down there and cheap electricity to the U.S., Ford explained. "We have to make sure we're competitive." By keeping energy benefits within Canada, Ford transforms natural resources into competitive advantages for Canadian businesses. This aligns perfectly with Carney's vision of a clean, self-sufficient, high-value economy. This approach in the Canada-US trade dispute sends a powerful message. If America weaponizes trade policy, Canada will weaponize efficiency and innovation. Global investors notice when a country reforms intelligently rather than panicking under pressure. Ford's determination to protect Ontario workers reflects broader Canadian sentiment. "I want to protect Canada. I want to protect Ontario," he declared. This isn't just provincial politics, it's national duty. The Canada-US trade relationship can no longer operate on outdated assumptions where Canada always accommodates American demands. The Trump trade policy may grab headlines, but Canada's counter-strategy relies on intelligent, long-term planning. Carney's administration has strengthened ties with Europe and Asia while investing heavily in domestic innovation. Canada's greatest strength isn't shouting louder than Trump. It's thinking longer and acting smarter. This standoff transcends tariffs and manufacturing quotas. It's fundamentally about respect and equality in the Canada-US trade relationship. Canada demands recognition as a true partner, not a subordinate backyard neighbor. The question now echoes across both nations. Will Washington listen before Canada stops negotiating quietly and starts exercising its economic power more forcefully? One certainty emerges from this Canada-US trade dispute. The era of passive Canadian diplomacy has ended. Under the united front of Mark Carney and Doug Ford, Canada will defend its economic sovereignty aggressively. The Trump administration may possess size and volume, but Canada controls stability, critical resources, and strategic patience. When Trump's America throws dice with impulsive trade decisions, Carney's Canada plays chess with calculated moves. The world watches closely, seeing which approach builds lasting prosperity. As this Canada-US trade war escalates, one message rings clear: the new Canada won't back down again.